We are breaking down the top 5 recruits that EJ saw over the weekend. I'm Clayton Safey with EJ Holland here. We're from the Wolverine.com. EJ, you were on the road checking out some Michigan recruits in Atlanta at a 7-on-7 tournament. So let's break down the top 5 guys that you saw and what you saw from them and I guess their interest level in Michigan. Hot name right now, Miles Pollard, a 4-star corner out of Tennessee, former teammate of Junior Colson uh, down there, who is now a Michigan early enrollee linebacker. So tell us a little bit about Miles and what you saw from him and why he's on this list.
Yeah, Miles Pollard was really, really impressive. Actually, Will Johnson hit me up on Monday and was like, "Can you send me some video clips of Miles Pollard? I heard he looked really, really good." And yeah, he definitely moved the needle out there. His team definitely struggled. They, I believe, went 1-4 during the tournament, so not a great outing for them. But that doesn't take away from the individual performance that Miles had. I mean, he completely shut down his side of the field. I saw basically almost every play from all of his games. And you can go watch all of his 7-on-7 clips over on the YouTube channel. But I thought he was great. You know, when I first saw Miles Pollard, he was really raw. I mean, he had a couple of offers. Actually, went out to Nashville to see Junior Colson, and he happened to be there. And I think the cool thing about Miles is every time I see him, he gets better. So he's not as raw as he once was. He definitely has sharpened his technique. He's become more patient. On the field this season, he was very physical. Obviously, you can't do that in 7-on-7, but here in this setting, he showed that patience. He showed that improved technique. He has the length. He has the height that Michigan values in their cornerback recruits. I think he would be excellent to pair with a guy like Will Johnson, who is already that 5-star guy and ready to go. But Miles Pollard, I think, is coming along really nicely, and I can see, why Mo Linguist has made him one of the top priorities this cycle. And that DB board is so huge, and Pollard is really standing out to him. And I know Mo Linguist is a great evaluator, and getting to see Miles Pollard again in person and seeing him take the next step was great. And he will be on campus for a self-guided visit this weekend. So a huge Michigan target right there.
Yeah, and a huge visit this weekend. Moving on to the next guy who impressed you, Demario Tomlinson, out of Kissimmee, Florida, a 4-star outside linebacker, number 155 player or 154 player in the class of 2022. George Hilo, obviously the position coach for Michigan at the linebacker spot. I guess he obviously likes Demario Tomlinson. What are your thoughts on him after seeing him live there over the weekend?
Yeah, Demario Tomlin's probably a name you don't know too much about. Michigan just offered him a little more than a week ago, so he's definitely a new name, but I loved what I saw from him. He's big, he's athletic, he can move. He played that middle linebacker spot in 7-on-7. Usually teams only run out with one linebacker, and they play kind of a Mike role where they just sit in the middle and play a lot of zone. And, Tomlin did some of that, but he also came up and manned up against slot receivers, tight ends. He was really, really impressive in pass coverage overall. He's lengthy at about 6'3", so he can come off the edge. I think Tolan's a guy you can just do a lot with. He can fit in any of the linebacker roles. He can be an inside guy, an outside guy, a pass rusher. I really liked his knowledge of the game. He really understood coverages and what the offense was trying to do. He really commanded his defense. And so with Pylon this year, they are the Pylon 7-on-7 tournaments. With Pylon, they're doing a division where you're allowed to have seniors on your team. So Tolan played in that one for whatever reason, but he was really, really impressive there, and he helped his team win that division championship. So I think he's definitely a guy that Michigan is going to prioritize. And obviously, Hilo just offered, and I think he's really going to ramp up his recruitment there of Tolan. But I love him. I think he should definitely be a top-tier guy on the board.
Third guy on the list, Jaleel Skinner, a kid that we have talked about and you have seen multiple times, but out of Greer, South Carolina, a 4-star 2022 tight end. Another guy right in that top 160 range there, rivals 250 kid. What did you see from him flipping over to the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, Jaleel Skinner is just one of the most physically impressive athletes I've seen. I mean, he's listed at 6'5", 215. He might weigh a little more than that. He has plenty of room to add some really good weight to his frame. Right now, the two top tight ends in the country from a rankings perspective are Oscar Delp and Jaleel Skinner. I've had a chance to see both of them this offseason. I think Oscar Delp can be a really, really good complete tight end. I think he's going to be a great college football player. I think Jaleel Skinner can be a game-changing tight end, just with his athletic profile, with his ability as a receiver. You can split him out wide. He's so big, long. He can win jump balls. He has the speed for his size, and he doesn't, really move awkwardly. I mean, he's a guy that at 6'5" moves extremely well. He's also a terrific basketball player. He even played some linebacker. He plays for Cam Newton's team. So Cam Newton just threw him in at the linebacker spot and said, move around and wave your arms and get in passing lanes because he's so big and he's so long. But I love Jaleel Skinner. Michigan is making him a top target this cycle as they look to land another tight end to pair with Marlon Klein, 3-star who's already committed. But he will be a tough pool from the South with major players like Clemson and Florida high on his list as well.
Next guy is a 5-star. We can talk all we want about 4 stars, but 5 stars have a little something extra, I guess you could say, and I guess that's why they rank there. Jacoby Matthews, a 5-star safety out of Louisiana, the number 11 player in the class of 2022. So Michigan already has Will Johnson, a 5-star defensive back, corner. Obviously, as everybody knows, if you don't know his name, I don't know what you're doing watching these videos, but we still welcome your viewership. But tell us a little bit about this 5-star.
Yeah, Jacoby Matthews is a big, not just box safety. I mean, he's a big, strong-looking kid that looks like a box safety, but he's very athletic. He can definitely play free, strong, or come up in the box as a rover type. Great instincts, had a couple of interceptions on day one. His team lost early on, lost in the first round of elimination play. So didn't get to see as much of Matthews as I would have liked, but he definitely checks all the boxes. Again, has the size, has the length, has the athleticism, has the instincts. Ron Bellamy is from Louisiana and actually played for his high school coach. So there's a connection there. Ron Bellamy actually named him Baby Braun after LeBron James because he's so big and athletically impressive. So, I mean, again, Jacoby definitely checked the boxes. There weren't as many clips of him as I would have liked to have put out for our YouTube page and for the Twitter followers and the subscribers over at thewolverine.com just because he played in limited games. But in the games he did play in, he was extremely impressive. And I know Will Johnson is also recruiting him hard as well. So he'll be a tough land out of Louisiana. All the major players down there are after him, but Michigan is still in the mix.
Yeah, and if Ron Bellamy has a fighting chance, I feel like, they're going to be in the mix at least for quite a while, given how good of a recruiter he's already starting to prove to be and how we know, we project him to be a hell of a recruiter going forward too as he gets started here at Michigan. Sherrod Koval is the final guy on this list, a 4-star safety out of Virginia. What are your thoughts on him? He's another kid that you've seen a couple times and we've discussed here on these videos.
Yeah, so we talked about Koval last time when I went out to Pylon Jacksonville last month. And again, he was just a top performer. A lot of people are focused on, Miles Pollard and Jacoby Matthews and Bryce Anderson. But Sherrod Koval's still on the board. He's still a guy that Michigan really likes. The new staff re-offered him. He's still in contact with the Wolverines. I think right now he's higher on a couple of other schools. But if Michigan makes him a priority, he's definitely one to watch. He's always been interested in the Wolverines as a player. He is just really solid. He can do a lot of things. He played, boundary corner this weekend. He covered some guys in the slot. He played the traditional safety role. He has really good speed to go along with a nice muscular build. He's not super lengthy. He's not really tall. He's about 5'11", 6 feet. But he's just a really compact, muscular guy. He gets physical on film. And he, again, brings versatility to the secondary. So I really like Koval. You know, it's just a really strong year in 2022 for defensive backs. You look at all these other positions, quarterbacks weak, running backs weak, you know, tight end, you have 2 guys in a really weak class, wide receivers kind of man. All these positions are kind of down, and all the talent is kind of condensed in the secondary. And so I feel like in any other year, Koval would be this really wanted guy. And because this year there are so many options in the secondary, he's not as highly touted, but he's still a very, very talented player. I think, you know, in last year's class, he would have been an amazing land. And this year he would be a good land. So I think that Koval is a little undervalued, but definitely has impressed on the 7-on-7 circuit this offseason.
So those are the 5 best recruits that EJ saw over the weekend at the Atlanta Pylon Tournament. Thanks to our sponsors, Lewis Jewelers, and remember to use the promo code BLUE60 at thewolverine.com.